I know how to send mail now. I will show you how I figured it out.
And maybe while not everyone here, I want to ask one question. It's not related to what you did, but it's related to integrator. You said that we have data connectors there and we can store some data, yes? And what about saving there some little sensitive data? For example, in our project, we have things like when we work with DMS, it's like some external system. We first need to make two calls. The first one to get some ticket, and this ticket, then we make second call and get some SAML tokens that we need to add to every our request. Like we will be authorized. Can we store this SAML token in data connector? It will be like a secure way, or better not to do this?
Yeah, that will be secure way. Let's go to, I'm not sharing screen, right? Moment. Okay, I do now. If you go to the data connector, you see this encryption here. So if in your application you'll hit this checkbox, it will be encrypted in the way that nobody ever will see that. It's then it's safe to use data connector for sensitive data.
Yeah, okay. But is it encryption worked like somewhere inside the integrator in the code we have some security key or stuff like that that used when we do encryption, and this security key used for every project, or it's like you can set this key for your project if you want?
Yeah, this is the question about the code. I have to take a look there because I don't know. I think I think Yura wrote this functionality, but I hope there is somewhere this secret data that is used for encryption in the application Groovy or application YAML file. I think it should be there. But I can check it. You can also check it on the Bitbucket just by going to this.
But actually, anyway, I think it will be fine because the clients, they have their own integrator, and even if this code inside some code, it will be used only for one project because in their integrator they have only one project, so it will be okay. Okay. So
yeah, it will. But I'm pretty sure that it has to be configurable. Nobody hard codes secret salt in the code. It has to be in some Groovy files. And when you install the integrator anywhere on any server, you can have an external Groovy file and override that property with any secret you like. Much more complex. I think it should be okay. You should use that data connector if that fits your needs.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I don't know if we are going to cover data connected today, and to be honest, I don't even remember how to make a correct template, because the template for the data connector needs to have some predefined structure, because this is the body of the call that's made to the data connector to store the data. There are a couple of fields, but let's see. So let's finish with this messenger connector finally. And here it's not maybe very interesting for the QA, it's just a lot of garbage here. But what's interesting for us is that this to field, like to whom I want to send an email, the model to pass to it is this exchange property original input, right? So the same that we used for our PDF. If I go to the PDF, I see this exchange properties original input. So this original input object as a model is passed to when it tries to scan for any placeholders you have in that field, which means that I don't need that first part. I just using the answers because my global model is this original input. That's why I went to the messenger connector and I put this. So just starting from the answers, and then the rest is the same. This answers structure or answers object structure stays the same. That means that for some reason they did not pass to this to field anything else that we have in a body. We saw that we have the name there, the form variables also. If some of you know already what is a form variable, but it sounds for me very logical that sometimes I would want to use the forms variable here, but there's no such possibility without changing this line 79 here. Vitaly 5 years ago. Okay, I think this concludes the messenger connector. Actually, let's try. Costa, what is your MyCube's email? Can you remind me? Tell us if you received an email. Okay, and the next we should do probably REST connector. That's a very interesting thing. And the most used. Okay, very good. So that works. We have a dynamic email now. The REST connector. Let me just think. As I said, I did not prepare. Let me just think how we're going to use that. There are some REST online testing recent placeholder. This free fake REST API. Yeah, that's what we need. To-dos. What does it return? User ID, title, completed, to-dos now. We need something else. I saw one about the Star Wars comments, 500 comments. Oh, maybe these comments are good. Let me think, how can we use that in our REST API Star Wars, and about the guide from the Star Wars. Yes, this, so we can get the people from the Star Wars. People one request Luke Skywalker, and then we can change IDs here. Oh, that's all of them. No, how can I? How does this thing work? People to. Oh yeah, that's another guy. So people, planets, starships. Let's use this REST connector. So let's proceed with our contact form. It's not contact form anymore, but it doesn't matter. We're just learning here. So whenever I fill in my contact form, the sending of an email will be the last step that I'm doing. But before that, I'm going to make a REST call to this API, get some planet. We can also make a field, some like planet ID. And this email will contain also, besides we already created, some information about that planet. Or, but that will be next step. let's do it one by one. But I will do it together with you guys. I don't have anything prepared. I'm not looking at any second screen when everything is ready, and I'm just so we will have some troubles along the way, but that's good because we are going to figure them out together using audit log. So that's fine. Okay, first thing first, we are covering two connectors using one use case. From now on, we are going to recreate our test contact form template, and it is going to use a Piper connector because with our submit data, we want to perform more than one action now. First action, we want to make a REST call and receive a response. Second action, we want to send email just like we do now. For this, we are going to use Piper connector. For the Piper structure example, it's a shame, but yes, I don't know it by heart. I'll take this. So, test contact form will be from now Piper. So it shouldn't be email body anymore inside. Instead, we'll rename it to email. Text contact form email, save template. Actually, as you can see, when you change the name of the template, it just produces the new template for you, and the old template stays there. Is it a bug or a feature? I'm not sure, but this time I like it. So
this is a feature, actually.
good. So test contact form email stays as it was. It should contain our email information, email body. But test contact form, from now on, it is Piper. So oh my god, that's because that's the Nink's project. They always do this fancy stuff. So how it looks, the Piper, it's the JSON object. It always has pipes key. There's no way to have here any other keys. There's just always pipes key. So of course, logical question is why? Why then we just shouldn't start the template with like this, for example, and then just add pipes somewhere in the code? The answer is I don't know, but let's use it how it is. So this pipes is an array, as you can see, and that array contains simple objects with a couple of properties. Actually, there are 3 properties maximum that you can have there. It's a type, name, and script. Type can be action, script, or transform, depending on what do you want to do on this particular step. If this is the step when your template is connected to some plugin, messenger, REST connector, SOAP connector, that will be an action. If you have a template, for example, that you don't want to connect to any plugin, but you just want to receive as an input the result of the previous template, and before going to the next template, you want to modify data somehow, you can use the type transform. And here in the name, provide that template name. In this case, you don't need to connect that template into any plugin. It just as a middleware, as some middle step between this first step and second step. For example, here I received some response from the REST call, but here I have the template that accepts data a little bit differently. Then here I can do the transformation, and then I just do a template where in the input in the body, I have that response from the REST call, and I'm doing the object how I want to see it as a body input here. Hope that's clear. Let's now do our case. And yes, the script is a script. It has to be in the script manager here. We did not touch it yet, and we won't. It's just a Groovy script where you have a body as an input, and then you can do anything you want. And you can, from that script, you can return body back after all the modifications you made there. You can also work with headers there if you want to clear the headers or add some additional information to headers. You can all do there. So script is like completely developer thing. I don't even know if any client uses script. It's always we who are using that for the clients. So let's do our case here. So first step in our pipe will be to make a REST call. So that will be type action. So that will be the REST connector action. And the name of our template, let's say get Star Wars planet. That will be our first step. Then our second step will be again type action. And name will be test contact form email, right? So this is the same name as here in our email body that we create. And the rest we can remove, Pay attention, it has to be valid JSON. So like this, simple, but we have two steps already. First, we do the call. Second, we send email. We broke our email thing when we renamed the template because our test contact form is now connected to the plugin messenger connector. Remember, the whole connection is just by name. So let's go there, edit, rename it here, save. Okay, again, feature. This time I don't need the feature. And okay, that looks good. So we don't have any plugin now connected to the test contact form. Since we provide pipes here, we want it to be connected to the piper. And comparing to any other plugin, this is very simple. I'm going to the piper connected, add endpoint, and I have this beautiful single field form where I can just provide my template name. So this template is already connected with the piper connector. So whenever the submit happens, integrator knows, okay, I received a body, submit body from the forms publisher. The name there is test contact form. Okay, I'm going there. Okay, there is a template, test contact form. Good. Let's see to which plugin this template is connected. It performs a search. I don't know it in which order, but then it eventually finds it in the piper connector. And okay, so this template is a piper. So the content inside that template has to be a valid JSON. It has to have pipes property. And so me as an integrator, I can read this pipes property as an array. And from top to the bottom, one by one, I can perform the actions. That's how it works. So if we submit our form now, of course, we'll receive what we already received today is that get Star Wars planet template is not defined, because this is what it will try to do first. Let's create new template, get Star Wars planet. When we do this call to this swappy, this is just a get call. It does not contain any information. So actually our template here can be empty. But we figured out previously today, that with empty template, there is a problem that it doesn't see it at all. So let's just put an empty object here. It doesn't matter at all, I think, what should be in here. It can be also a string. Because for the template that is connected to the REST connector, the content of the template has to be a body of your request. So in case of the post request, you could put here some JSON. That would be your body of your post request if you want to send some parameters. But we don't need that for this case. Okay, so now I have, let me copy that. Now I have the template. It's not connected to any plugin again, right? So let's go to the REST connector plugin. And this is one more new area that we are going to explore in the Forms integrator. It's super popular. I think the REST connector by far is the most used connector, along with the piper, together with the piper usually, in the Forms integrator. So add endpoint, and there's a lot of fields here, but we are not using headers fields, I think. We don't need them. Usually you need them if you have, for example, on your other side, where the service that you're calling, when you have, for example, the basic authentication, then you would do the authentication here, and then some token like bearer and token be here. Also, headers are used for the content type very often. So you can strictly define the content type that you want to receive as a response. Maybe let's do that, because our response will definitely be the JSON. So the name of our endpoint, it's as no surprises here, the same as for any other plugin. It's just mapped by names, so we have to put our template name here. The HTTP method will be get. and the URL address. How can I easily copy this? The URL address will be this API, and let's hard code the planet ID for now. Oh, it's you guys again, wrong tab. But nice to see you. So yeah, here. So whenever our Piper step with this template is reached by FormsIntegrator, it sees that the name of an action is this, then it finds the template with this name, then it tries to find to which plugin this template is connected by name. It finds this endpoint in the REST connector, and it knows, okay, then I have to make get call to this URL with these headers, with the body, with the parameters provided by the template, inside the template, but we did not provide anything. And it's a get call, not post call. So let's save it. Okay, good. Now I know that there should be the response template, etc., but we have to see that as an error is in Audit Manager to figure that out, right? So let's go to our form. Yes, and let's just submit empty form. We don't have any required fields there. It doesn't matter. We did not provide an email, but we did not reach email step because that's a second step, and it definitely failed on the first step. Audit Manager. So test contact form email. This is what failed. And get Star Wars planet was successful. So you can see now, since we use Piper, we have a couple of actions now. Before, every submit produced one row to this Audit Manager table. But now it's completely different. Now we have a Piper, and as you can see, with some milliseconds difference, there are 3 records here. First is the record is the main submit name, the Piper record. And then goes the steps. Since we have 2 steps in our Piper, we have the first step, get Star Wars planet, and we have the second step, email. It failed on an email, probably because the email was empty. Body answer is missing. No, the reason is different. The reason is that body there is not there anymore. Yeah, okay. Let me explain this again. So whenever you have a chain of actions, the body that comes in to your action is the result of the previous action. That's why we can't in our form email use this body answers anymore, because body will not contain initial form submit. The body will contain a response from get Star Wars planet REST call. And actually we completely lost our initial submit data to use that in the test contact form email. There is a workaround for that by using this script, and we are going to do that. But first, let's figure out what's with this get Star Wars planet, because ideally, ideally we would receive the get Star Wars planet response into our email, but we didn't. As we can see here in the error message, the body is just the name of the template. I don't see any response from the Star Wars. And this is this is where this audit log gets a little bit tricky, is that here in the get Star Wars planet, I have a status okay. So that means everything works good here, so usually I don't even go there inside to see what happened. But actually, what happened is that I'm missing a template. The call itself went okay. In audit log, it's green. But if we look here, here's, by the way, where we received the response about the planet, you see? So everything was good there. But then, this is what happened. It says no template found, but it's, as you can see, it's a green step. It says, okay, no template found, but that's not an error. So it's not failing. It goes to the next step, mail sending, and then there's no body. So again, it's a hard coded. Remember, like it was for the PDF. I have a template name underscore PDF when I do the PDF, but when I want to receive a response about the planet, I need to use my template name underscore response. For any REST call that you do, you need a response template in order to receive that response and like transform it somehow. So I'm creating this template. And here in this template, the body will be the response from the Get Star Wars Planet API. Let me think. Okay, let's do it like this. Let's go to Audit Manager and check that response again. Now we can do that right here. So this is my body. And for example, I want to have a name. I want to pass to the next steps. For example, only the name of the planet. So then I do the JSON. I can name it how I want, planet name. And here the string, body. This is the body, so just body name should be enough. So this is the response template, and then the input body for the next step will be this. So my mail template will already know about the planet name, but will not know anymore about my first name, last name, email, because that was lost. But let's see. Let's submit again. Submit failed, that's expected. Let's go to Audit Manager, and let's go to this email. So we can see the input body. The name is always there. And it's the name of the template. But now we have the planet name, and this value is not hard-coded anywhere. We received that from the outer space, from the internet. Now, in order to make my template work, well, I need also the answers, right? Because my email template references the body answers. Your planet, let's just also put the planet here. Your planet is body. This is what we received. We just saw it in the audit log. I mixed all the windows. So body planet name, because this is our body, and planet name will be there. But our whole submit still fails because the body dot answers is undefined. Because this is the body, there's no answers. How can we bypass that? In the Piper, we usually do that using scripts with variables. I do not remember that by heart, I think, but let's try. So we have that third property, script. And this script is a Groovy script that is executed before your action. And if I define any variable here, def is a definition for Rails, like a var for JavaScript. Def initial body, and assign body to it, like this. If I define this script in the script variable, that this variable will be visible in any other scripts, which means that here I can also provide the script. But this script will be executed before this email action. And moment, I received some message. Okay. This script will be executed, yes, before this email action, so I can change or add something to the body of this action. I think. Let's try together. I'm not sure, but so body initial answers equals initial body, or like initial body, like this. So what happened here? The pipes, they go from the top to the bottom. So I am doing the first action before doing get Star Wars planet. I am assigning body to initial body because at this moment my body is what I submitted from the form. Then the next step happens, and first I'm evaluating the script. So to the body, whatever in that body is, and you know that we have their planet name and the name, but we also add additional property initial body there, and we assign the initial body from the variable there. So it's how it works. Hope that the chain here is clear. But let's see if it works. I'm not sure. It should, but so let's submit the form. Let's go to Audit Manager. And okay, we have even a mistake in text contact form. Missing property. No such property initial body for class script 1. Okay. What I'm doing wrong here. Okay, let me think. Let's figure this out together. That should be interesting. So no such property initial body. So I can't do like this. There's the body. Don't remember. So if I just, I can override the body. Yes. And then I have the initial body. So I'm now recreating the body object, but what, as the result, what I will have, right, is that I'll have the initial body property, but I will then lose the planet name. But let's see. Let's just experiment together, so we all know. We all will oops, publisher forms. So whenever something goes in unexpected way, then that's a mess becomes. Okay. I don't see email at all. Email action, so it failed somewhere before. Missing property, no such property, but still the same. What am I doing wrong? Okay, let's then see some advanced Piper and try to steal the ideas from there. So you see, they try to preserve answers here. So they stored answers before here, answers equals body, and then they try to restore them here, body equals answers, and they just completely change the body. Okay, let's try this. Template Piper answers body.answers, because at this moment we know answers. We have them for sure here. But if I do body equals answers, I lose my planet name. Test contact form. Yes, Audit Manager. Again, something wrong. No such property answers for class script 1. That's strange. Okay, I think I'm a little bit stuck here because I'm doing the same thing as here. They have answers and then they reuse the answers like this and it works for them. But for some reason it doesn't work for me. Okay. Okay, yeah. You all guys are just sitting there and listening to my
Maybe
thinking.
it's a lunchtime.
Yeah, but let's do them, and I'll try to figure that out because yeah, I did not prepare, but this should be quite simple. I'm doing some simple mistake here, but yes, you think so? Let's try. Why not? Let's go there, and without death, save form. Go to the audit manager. I think you're right. I think you're right. It works. Okay, it works. Nice. And when we go to the email, we can see that we have now in the email all the answers. But we missed our planet name and the name. Oh, that's great, Kostya. Great that you have the hint because I needed some time to figure that out. Why that def is so dangerous here, I don't know because doesn't matter. It's just something about the scopes where this Groovy scope is running, I think. So we assigned answers back to our body, and now our form email template still doesn't work because we have the references there as body.answers, and we don't have body.answers. We have body. Directly something that goes after answers because we assign them there. So let's write differently. Let's write body answers like this, and we still have body answer there. And in order to not lose our planet, that's the funny sentence, but yeah, we are going to introduce the new property here. For example, the Star Wars response. And here, I hope I can put body. Because at this moment of time, body is the result of my Star Wars planet response template. So I'm going to put it here. But for this action, I'm going to override the whole body, and it needs to have this structure. I hope that's clear what I'm doing right now. Let me submit the form again. Go to FormsIntegrator, check the audit manager, check the email, invalid reference, but at least I can see this. And that's very good because we have our body now combined. We introduced the Star Wars response with the planet name, and we have our answers from the initial submit. For some reason, we still have invalid reference exception. That's strange, but let's figure it out. Let's go here, template manager, form email, body answers. That looks good for me. So what does it says? Body planet name. Yes, because now we have this. Yeah, sure. We have this Star Wars response. So body, Star Wars response, planet name. In order to have more properties here in a Star Wars response, we need to add them here. We can also write the forms creator macro. That's the forms. Sorry. Oh, I'm tired. Free marker macro but for this we need to know how to write FreeMarker macros. It's you can check it on the website. Just the FreeMarker syntax. We can write the macro that will just take body as an input and will just make a loop and do the JSON with all the properties from the body. Then we will have all these properties available in our mail template. But planet name is enough for now. We are going to receive it in a email. I'm not sure though, what about the PDF? Because here in the email, we have our body like this. But in the PDF, we could not use the body with the answers, right? So this should work because it still works with the original input. But is the variable that the body that I passed in the script in the Piper works? We are going to figure this out. So your is save. Okay, let's do before launch some final submit. Maybe somewhere. Okay, why? Because probably because of the PDF exception. No PDF template for, okay, I did not rename it. Okay, let's use our feature to rename the templates because I changed the original to the email. So it's obvious I have to rename that. I can do remove previous one. Let's submit again. Let's see what happens now. Invalid reference exception. The following has evaluated to null body. And I think it is about the PDF template. So that's an interesting question. How can I retrieve in the PDF the result of the REST call? Because that's useful, and it has to be that there has to be a way to do that for sure. But for now, in order to go to the launch, and I think I'm going to figure out what happens. So let's remove that from the PDF, leave just our answers, but we'll leave that in the email. Let's go to the form, let's submit it. And finally, we got there. So when I check my email, I have my planet. So we have both, and of course it's not in the PDF. I have to figure out how can we reference this data. But we did two-step submit right now. We used Piper, very important thing, used everywhere, in every MyCubes project that uses Forms Engine. First Piper step was the REST call. We successfully received it there because that planet comes from there. We never typed it manually. And the second is sending email together with the PDF. That still works. So basically, we have a lunchtime, but we just did almost everything that the integrator can do. I think after lunch, we can take this data connector, but I need to figure out first how this call is made. Because, for example, for the SOAP connector is the same as for the REST connector. You can see there are the same properties. It's just that the body of your call should not be the JSON, but the SOAP. And that's it. And there's nothing more special about this. As I said, we do not take any project-specific connectors, because if you see, for example, the Vernon connector, it's also like a SOAP, but it has some logic inside it. We don't need it at all. Log use connector. Again, I see that it sends some templates, also attaches the PDF, extra email. I don't know what that means, but that was done for the particular client. So great result in 2 hours. Let's probably after lunch use one more hour for the data connector and some questions and answers thing, and then I think we are done for today. Okay, is it? Any questions, or let's have a nice lunch? What do you think? Yeah. Okay, good. So
No
have a nice
question.
lunch, guys, and meet you in 1 hour.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.